Part 6 User Synchronization. You remember at the first video I said internal users retrieve security tokens based on their identity and access rights. That's because I have the user definition and access rights in the Active Directory. On the other hand, my online Azure ID is completely empty, so all I was describing earlier is for the user to be authenticated, but it does not identify him on the tenant. I know the difference is a little bit subtle, but I think you understand. So my goal is to synchronize internal user. My goal is to get all accounts right here on premise and put them all right there on my tenant. If I have absolutely no account on the cloud, I can do nothing. Fortunately, at the creation of the first domain was also created the first admin account. It is an online account with an online password, but it gives my admin the rights for first connection. For instance, if I want to create the account for Stormtrooper 1, my admin just has to navigate with a web browser to the account creation page. The user creation page will ask for some very classical fields: first name, last name. You will notice I was very imaginative on this. The display name, that's the name that will be displayed in your different interaction on Office 365. The username or user principal name, it is a very important field, and there will be a specific video on this topic. It's your login, your first email address, your first Skype address, and so on. Location, that's only for the licensing system. Contact information, not interesting. Password, auto-generated, really? After all I explained about using internal password and so on. And you have this strong feeling again that you are doing something very wrong, but you don't know why. But we'll go back to that after. Roles, that one was easy. He's no admin. Product licenses, I will make a specific video on all licensing model because it's very complicated, but E3 for today. So I just click add and Stormtrooper 1 has an account. Then Stormtroopers 2 comes along and say, hey, I want an account too, and everybody come along saying Whale Vader, be a doll, and synchronize every enterprise account. And I hope he didn't plan something for the day if the company employees are more than 1,100. And remember, it changes. Sometimes people are fired, sometimes people are hired. So keep up the good work, Vader, and check it, say, every night at 2 AM and make the specific changes. Then our administrator will have a very human reaction of what's going on and start thinking of another way to do all that. Let's talk about automation. As for every time there is a talk about automation in a Microsoft environment, the first idea is PowerShell. If you program scripts since Windows 7, you are familiar with PowerShell. It is the one and only tool for script action on Windows. Forget about bat, cmd.exe or everything else. You have to automate things, use PowerShell. It is installed on every Windows distribution by default. What do I want to automate? First, I will connect to Office 365 tenant. You may think it's easy, but with no password in a script, that tends to be a little tricky. If I have the time one day I'll show you. Get all AD accounts here, create all Azure AD accounts in response, and finally attribute licenses. A little long, but that was easy. I put it on a scheduled task and voila, execute every 10 minutes. I don't want this task running on my admin laptop because you know he's allowed to sleep sometimes, be on vacation, etc. So I will install it on a new server or maybe simply on the ADFS for simplicity and convenience. And you probably think it is over, but it gets worse. Sometimes people are banned, so I have to disable accounts. Sometimes, as I said, they disappear from the company, so I need to erase their accounts. And Kimberly get married with Brendan, so I have to change her last name, need for account automated update. And that was for the obvious part, because after that you have the technical synchronization need, for instance Skype hybrid purposes, Exchange hybrid, and so on. So here comes the strong admin feeling again. This script is too damn hard to maintain. Microsoft, please help me find a solution here. Answer from Microsoft: Azure AD Connect. Azure AD Connect is a tool designed by Microsoft to synchronize all your accounts in the cloud. In the past there were various versions of this tool. You may be familiar with Forefront Connector, DearSync, Azure AD Sync. Forget about all that, they are all deprecated, please do not use. Azure AD is now fully capable to work in an environment where there is multiple AD forest, resource forest, account aggregation, and everything you dreamt of. Note also that, like always, you may use a non-Microsoft tool for this synchronization. It can work perfectly fine. I just chose to explain only Microsoft technologies. Microsoft is also able to send mail to your administrator if it detects a problem on your synchronization. So, sleep well, Vader. The admin created a new server, installed Azure AD Connect on it, and now my users are all joyfully happy in the cloud. Thank you everyone, and see you soon for the next video. And do not forget to share and comment.